Talking back to Saga, so I mentioned like the two kind of planetary governments are like colluding together, and that it seems like there's massacres on both sides. But when a massacre happens, it's like both governments are working together to sow hatred on either side. And there's this big kind of event that's later on in the series where there's this comet that it's like heavily populated with people who are from colonies like on either side of the war, and the two governments basically come together and decide like they're going to destroy this and slaughter all these people to basically sow more hatred for either side, because people are starting to realize that maybe peace can happen and we need something big. And it's like this really like sad event where like the main characters are on there, and like the child Hazel, this is when she's a bit older, and like she befriends this like little kid whose family lives on this comet, and like they know that it's about to be destroyed, and like they want this kid and his family to kind of leave with them. And when I bring up like religious fanaticism, the reason like this family won't leave the comet is because their religion like forbids them to. And one of like the most heartbreaking scenes in the entire series is basically this girl is trying to like convince her new friend, like, you and your family have to come with us because you are going to die. And he's like, no, my parents say that like our savior is going to protect us. And, you know, even if they try to blow up the comet, like we'll all be saved. And she's like, look, it's not going to happen. You're going to die. And the family ends up leaving, and the kid and his like kind of religious cult stay. And like the last thing you see of the kid is like, everything's destroying, and he's like dying painfully, and he's basically like screaming out that he like believes for like his God or whatever, like to come and save him. And like it is really heartbreaking, and it's just how far really will governments go to keep up the lie? You know, we see all these massacres happening in the Middle East, and it's like, how much does both sides know about? You know?
What do you mean?
I don't know what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to not be... I'm just how much, like, collusion is there, you know?
Between like... I mean, between world power governments.
Yeah. Or this might be better for, like, America and Russia during the Cold War.
I wouldn't...
When you're talking about all the massacres, like... When you're talking about Pol Pot, who committed massacres during the Vietnam War, like, how much did they know about, and they let it go because they were like, this will help fuel things?
Yeah.
This might be me getting more conspiracy theory.
No, I think it's super... I mean, look, why haven't the United States, China, and Russia really had a war? Can you answer that question?
It's the same reason
That's what I'm saying.
It's the same reason why Wreath and Landfall don't have a war.
That's what I'm saying.
Because, well, I think
everyone's doing well.
Yeah,
they don't want to.
They're making so much. They're making so much money having all the smaller countries do their wars for them.
Right.
And that's what happens in Saga, of like these two planets that are these superpowers who realize, like, let's stay out of each other because it's mutual assured destruction. And also, you know, who wants to ruin a good thing? We're making so much money with this. That's what happens in real life. That's 100% what's fucking happening with the U.S. and Russia right now. Yeah. With you're talking about all the shit that's going on in Syria and in Iraq. Yeah, we know what's fuck's going on.
But the government tries to make it like, Trump has business dealings in Russia. Yeah. Really? He's a fucking... That's what he does. He fucking develops shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no shit. You think he has a backbone when it comes...
Right.
No. Like, he doesn't give a fuck if it's Russian mafia or whoever.
Exactly.
Like, you know, my point is, it's, you know, look, people might not want to investigate this, but how about, like, Hunter Biden sitting on the board of like that fucking
I don't know. I mean, it's sketchy as fuck.
Well, listen, it's sketchy as fuck. And you know what? Like, people are afraid to fucking say the first thing potentially negative about their own side.
You're right.
Which is a problem.
Yeah, which is a problem.
You know?
Exactly.
And I don't know, man. Like, I think that happens probably. I think it'd be heartbreaking to learn how much of that shit goes on.
And you know what else? It's just a funny side note of like, there's a character named Gale who he's kind of like the mastermind of this, like...
Was it Ukrainian? A Ukrainian company, not Russian company with Hunter Biden? I just want to...
Burismo is the company.
People. We don't
I believe it's
smart,
Ukrainian.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, because Trump was trying to get info from the Ukrainian government.
Right.
About it. Or anyway, there's a character named Gale who's...
How about these debates that are coming up?
I'm not excited.
No, I'm a little excited.
I mean, I'm going to watch them.
From an entertainment
I've always
value,
watched the presidential debates.
This is going to be something, man.
Yeah. All right, wait, there just one side note, there's a character named Gale who kind of like
she's like Oprah's like
it's a guy, and he kind of comes up with the idea for this comet being destroyed. I got that joke. Right, I know. I understand, Gail. Gail King. I know who Gail King is. Right. She made R. Kelly her bitch. Anyway.
Wait, no. That was
Gail King.
Wasn't that a reporter?
Yeah, Gail King.
The reporter?
Yeah,
that's the Gale.
That's the Gale.
No,
how'd you not know that?
Are you serious?
Yes, that's the Gale.
Oprah Gale with Oprah.
Yes,
that's the Gale.
Yes, that's the Gale.
Oh, Gale's like out here.
Yeah,
Gale's doing like big shit.
Yeah, Gale's doing.
Shout out to Gale. I didn't know she was. I didn't know that was the same Gale.
All right. Anyway, the Gale. It's not even like a point I was trying to make. It's just like a funny observation. He works for an agency called the Secret Intelligence Agency.
Who is this now?
Gale in the fun.
Gale King.
And it's very much a stand-in for the CIA, and it's kind of like a nod of like the CIA guy is kind of coming up with this idea for the massacre. We're talking about like the military-industrial complex and Gale King, but this is like, it is kind of the main ongoing thing of the story of the series Saga, but more so than anything, it's really just about like a family like trying to stick together under like the worst circumstances ever. And like there are assassins on either side who are coming after them. You know, some of the assassins kind of like become friends with them because they kind of realize that like, you know, there's kind of a shattering of the glass moment of realizing just like, what am I actually fighting for? Right. Other characters, when they kind of realize that it's all bullshit, just like go deeper into their beliefs. And it's really just like the story of like survival over this galaxy, well, with these two different factions that there's really no escape from. Mm-hmm. And I can relate that of real life, where, you know, you're talking about the U.S. government of like, if they want to find you, they can. And there's nowhere. We're living in like a our planet, our world is slowly just getting smaller and smaller.
Oh, absolutely.
Where there's nowhere in the world where they can't find you.
No.
And you get that in the story of just like you can hide out for a little while, but there's no escaping this.
No, I mean, again, going back to Whitey Bulger, like you mentioned before, I mean, if you want to live like that, if you want to live like, you know, with $800,000 in the wall and fucking not being able to go anywhere, I suppose, you know, but you can't, the point is you really can't hide.
No, you can't, because, you know, 10 years later, there's going to be a knock on your door. You're living in California with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he's just like, hey, remember all that shit in Boston you did?
Yeah, or the Golden State Killer.
Killer. And it was just like, hey, by the way.
Crazy.
Yeah. By the way,
DNA.
Yeah. 23andMe says you killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And now you're going to prison. Or it wasn't 23andMe. It was something.
Yeah, it was one of those.
It was one of them.